اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقدار العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل الصلاة وتام تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن السادة التابعين علماء عاملين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مقلديهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Welcome to another of the Soullutionz podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Imam Muhammad Abdullah Ameen, along with Amir, Khalil, Abdullahi, and brother Saleh Abdul Mujeeb. Our tonight's discussion is a discussion about Ramadan. I need my glasses. I can't even see the what's going across the screen. Yeah, about discussion on Ramadan. And like every year, it always begins with what people like to call the moon sighting, the moon sighting wars, which it really ain't a war at all. I mean, it's just that some people they take a local sighting and they go out and sight the hilal every month, and some people they take a global sighting or an announcement, or some people they go by calculation. So it's not really a war. It's really how you're gonna start fasting. All right, determining which is correct and which is incorrect is according to what is qata'i, and that's what Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran. To start the month when you see the hilal, in the month when you see the hilal. You mean it doesn't say start the month when you calculate it to be the day that it's supposed to start, and it does not say take a sighting outside of your locality. Right? It just says go. Just Allah Ta'ala says sight the when you begin the month when you see the moon, when you see the hilal. But that's one of the topics. That's one of the issues that we're gonna address. Really addressing it, after so many years is not really beneficial, because people still, and at the end, is gonna do whatever it is that they want to do, right? Whatever is easy for them. The best way is to follow your community, or follow the imam the masjid that you go to. That's the easiest way, and that's what normally what people do in the first place, right? They follow whatever local masjid they go to. But in these days and times now, everyone should have an idea on how to go sight the hilal. Everyone should. Have an idea on how to do it. Just like everyone should know the ahkams, the judgments and the rules and the positions in relates to Ramadan. What invalidates the fast, what validates the fast, what breaks the fast. So these are some of the things that are as part of our farder ayn to know. Every responsible individual must know these things in order to make their act of ibadah of fasting sound. Another thing is that because Another thing is because people neglect learning, that they don't have any concern with learning about fasting until Ramadan come around, because they don't fast. They don't fast any other time other than the month of Ramadan. And so not to say that, so that's the individual choice. Some people can't fast outside of Ramadan. Some people, the only time they're able to fast is in Ramadan. So those people who are only able to fast in Ramadan, they without a doubt, they try to maintain their fast diligently, so they won't have to make it up outside of Ramadan, because it'd be extremely hard for them to do that. Some people, they're able to do it, some people are not. I know as we get older, and we develop certain illnesses and stuff, it become very hard for us, for many who develop these illnesses, to fast. I remember when I was younger, I was able to fast while traveling, even fast while sick, even though I had
Dang.
dispensation.
So what was that back in 1917?
Yeah, you got jokes. But it's like this time of the year that Ramadan comes in. The last time Ramadan came in, and this time of the year was in 1992, 1993. It came in March, right? Um, it may have been a little bit later, but I'm quite sure, if I'm not mistaken, it was like in March, because I was in the joint at that time, and I remember that time very vaguely, because so many things that was going on during that time. I mean, so, and I think it was fairly easy for me, because during that time it was still kind of cold. It was kind of cold during that time. And no, I wasn't in Eastmore. I was in Dixon, Illinois. I mean, that it was kind of chilly, and it was a smooth bit, even though it was long, but it was a smooth bit. I mean, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we can even continue, everyone who's watching on Facebook, please like and share the video, and keep the Facebook algorithm going. All those who are watching on YouTube, please like and share the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, so that when every time we upload a video, you will get the notification that we have uploaded a video. All right. So, well, what you wanted to add anything, Saleh?
Yeah, I am a little quarter in. And alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmeen. Once again, everybody, I thank you for joining us. You know, you touched something, right? You said that this the first war we have, right? Is, you said, the moon sighting war. No matter how we look at it, is an argument every year, faithfully, every year. So it's like, I want to say that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 stages of Ramadan, right? Dealing with the affairs of the Muslims, right? Abu Muhammad touched 1, right? And the other one is get on the good foot Muslims, right? Get on the good foot Muslims. That's when you start seeing all the Muslims all over everywhere you at, just trying to get back on the good foot, right? So the Islamic stores become packed like it's a heroin line back in the 1980s, right? And then you have the third stage, right? The third stage is that I can't do it, right? I can't do it, right? And that's when everything starts dwindling down. We all witnessed that, total wear. And then what, the first week, Abu Muhammad? Can we say the first week?
Nah, I can't. I
Is a
can't.
packed crowd? Is a packed crowd in the masajid the first week?
I can't say. I can't
Okay,
say. The first 3 days is a packed crowd, depending on what masjid you go to.
right. So yeah, so that's why I said. So let's say the first. That's in the first week, right? That's in the first week, right? So that first week, the masjid fully loaded. Everybody's there. Everybody got the Ramadan spirit. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, right? Then you have the stage of I can't do it where it starts dwindling down, right? Where you see the people not coming as much. The ranks turn from 1,456 to 2, right? You see that? And then is the last battle, which is the Eid battle. That's the Eid battle. We go through that too, right? So when now because we didn't do, we had the beginning battle such as sighting the moon. Now you got to find out where, if we want to be on the same page with the Eid. So this is the 4 stages that's common, right? I'm saying it with sarcasm, for entertainment purposes, but this in reality is the 4 stages we always witness. The arguments of the beginning of the month, the Ramadan spirit, decreased, and then is the Eid, right? And then is the Eid argument, right? What I say now is that somewhere down the line, me, myself, Muhammad, you can combat it if you would like. I think what I would say to you earlier is that dang near everything, especially these first two, the first two, because the two that I named, that's between you and your Rabb, right? But it's just acknowledgement of what goes on in the Islamic communities, right? But the last two, everything goes back to me of combating Salafiyah. That we don't want to be like them in so many fashions to the point where we don't want to break our fast on the day they break their fast. We don't want to start fasting the day we start their fast. And it goes back to what I said to Abu Muhammad, that Ahl Sunnah got so far away from Qala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that when Abu Muhammad, when he first said, he narrated what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, right? You narrated a hadith, right? Or did you narrate Quran? I think you narrated.
Allah Ta'ala says, beginning he loud.
When you see it, so he narrated what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and there's narration that support that. Forgive me, right? Because I was in my mind on what I wanted to talk about. So you said something what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And then this narrates also from what the Prophet said when he asked on the companions, did you see it? Then fast when you see it. We got to get back to that, of implementing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says and what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, despite who is doing what. Do you agree with me on that, Abu Muhammad, or how do you feel about that?
No, I agree.
Right. And I think it would be more easier with that, right? Because at the end of the day, we all are establishing a pillar of Islam. That every Muslim, as Abu Muhammad said, a mukallaf, one who is legally responsible, has to fast during this month. So if he's fasting during this month, despite what minhaj he follows, what madhab he follows, that is your brother in Islam. Because he's fulfilling what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we must fulfill. Right, and we all know the ayat of Quran. I'm not going to try to say it in Arabic. We know it in Arabic, right? O you who believe, fasting was prescribed to you as it was prescribed to the people before you, so you can gain taqwa. Right? So the purpose of fasting this month is for us to gain taqwa, to be better than what we were before that. And to, try our best to get to the better stage of fasting, to the point where we're not just withstanding from food and drink, but we're withstanding from things that, the pointless talk, right? We're fasting with our eyes, with our tongue, and all of these other things. And we try to get the benefit out of that of allowing the Quran to, and sink and soak into our hearts. And why I say soak is that we want to be able to, every time the Quran is recited, that we have this shaking feeling. So it needs to soak into our heart, because our heart is so poisoned with all the things that we were doing before Ramadan came, that we need to drain that sponge out. You know how you're in a sink, right? Ramadan is the faucet water, and your heart is that, it would be equivalent to the sponge. If you drain it with that, you put underneath that, and you get all that filth out, right? And you fill it with the love of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala this month, if that makes sense. So how you feel, Abu Muhammad?
See this, the ayat that I had part of portion of the ayat that I had mentioned. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, He lays out everything related to Ramadan and the Quran and the guidance, everything in this ayah. Allah Ta'ala says, he says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Shahru Ramadan alladhina unzila fi Qur'anu hudan lil-nasi وبينات من الهدى والقرآن فمن شهد منكم شهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فإذا من أيام أخرى يريد الله بكم يسرا ولا يريد بكم أسرا ولتكملوا إذا ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. Says the month of Ramadan is in which was revealed the Quran, and a guidance for the people and clear proof of guidance and a criterion. So whosoever cites the new moon, cites the new moon of the month, let him fast it. And whosoever is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days. Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship, and wants for you to complete the period and to glorify Allah for that which He has guided you, and perhaps you will be grateful. So Allah Subhanahu wa Taala in this ayat, he mentions is being obligatory, a criterion to fast, to be grateful. Allah Ta'ala revealed the Quran in this month as a guidance, right? As a guidance. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gives in the same ayat, He gives the dispensation for an individual who is ill. You mean that they exempt from fasting until they become well again, and they make up the days that they are ill, that they were ill. I mean, so Allah Subhanahu wa Taala intended ease for us and not hardship. So what ease do we have other than to follow and obey what Allah Ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran, right? Nothing in that ayat talks about start beginning to fast when you calculate when the month begins. Nothing in that ayat talks about um, sighting the moon, sighting the hilal in another country, right? Or sighting the hilal further than a distance than you able to see it, right? And it's a number of hadith that's related to that. So it's not just uh, what Allah Ta'ala prescribed, but it's also how the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam instructed us on how to facilitate the ibadah in this month. So by virtue of the Quran, that there's what Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran, that there is no um, there is no Eid wars. There's no moon sighting wars. None of that stuff. You know, so only thing we have to do is submit. That's it. I mean, and that's the ease, right? That's the ease. You know, we're so caught up in what we think, what we feel, so encouraged by our nafs and our desires and our egos that we think we know better, or think we can do better. Like we're bringing something, uh like we're bringing something to Islam that we can benefit Islam with, instead of Islam benefiting us. So, um and then like the Quran wasn't the only thing, the only scripture that was revelation that was revealed in the month of Ramadan. Uh, recorded by Wathalani bin al Askar, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Unzilat suhufu Ibrahim fi awwal layl in Ramadan, wa unzilat al-Tawratu لستة لستة مضينا من رمضان، وإنجيل للثلاثة عشرة خلد من رمضان، وأنزل الله قرآنا عربيا عربيا وعشرين خلت من Ramadan. Is that the Suhuf pages of Ibrahim? The Suhuf pages of Ibrahim was 100 pure pages. The portion of the portion of the Suhuf pages that was his was the Book of Generation, which was 10 pages. Right, that was revealed on the first night of Ramadan. The Torah was revealed during the sixth night of Ramadan. The Injil, the gospel that was brought with Isa ibn Maryam, that Isa ibn Maryam brought, was revealed during the 13th night of Ramadan. And Allah Ta'ala revealed the Quran on the 24th night of Ramadan. And that's in the Musnad of Imam Ahmed. Right? That's in the Musnad of Imam Ahmed. You know, so we have four revelations that was revealed, right? That was revealed in Ramadan. So the establishment of Ramadan was established long before the revelation, the last and final revelation. It was already established. The fasting was already established, right? I mean, it was already established. We were commanded to fast as though nations before us was commanded to fast. All right, so
Now, question for you, right, Abu Muhammad, right? What should we get out of this fast? You know, because let's speak another reality, right? That we don't know the intentions of the hearts, right? But we can know the actions of the people, right? And the actions of the people sometimes can display off of their limbs, and which the tongue is a limb as well. So what about the people who fast because they don't want to feel left out, right? And speaking on like I said, to get back on the wagon ones, to encourage them, right? For encouragement, without, let's not downplay them, because we still, we want to join the good and forbid the evil. What do you think they should get out of this Ramadan if this is their sole intentions to be able to take what they got from Ramadan and implement it to the next? What do you think should be the goal of what they should want to accomplish?
To use if they're not on their deen, to utilize the participation in fasting the Ramadan to Allah, asking Allah Ta'ala to assist them on getting back on their deen, right? To start back practicing their deen. If you look at after 9/11, a lot of Muslims who wasn't practicing their deen, they started back practicing. Some people, some Muslims who had apostated from Islam, they came back to Islam after 9/11. If you remember that. Um, if not, I'm just looking at what I observed, what I seen. Um, sometimes the motivation of your sins being forgiven, completing the month of Ramadan, which is sins being forgiven, is motivation to continue for some people. Um, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, He forgives sins from Salah to Salah, Jum'ah to Jum'ah, Ramadan to Ramadan. Right, so everything in between, Allah Ta'ala forgive sins. Right, so um, only Allah Ta'ala knows who is fasting. That's why only Allah Ta'ala He rewards for fasting, because He knows who's actually fasting and who's not. Right, and fasting is not just staying away from food and drink. It's also staying away from bad speech, bad behavior. Uh, that's including lying. Was including lying, frivolous, senseless talk, um, and many other behaviors that can fall under the kaba'ir. I mean, slandering and backbiting and tail bearing. All of them sins. They are sins that fall under the kaba'ir. To where, it's forbidden, and it's not just forbidden in Ramadan, but it's forbidden anytime. And you know what I'm saying, like, we always hear that, we always hear Muslims say, well, I need a Ramadan. Well, if all of us treat Ramadan as a need every day, that we need to get better, we need to change, we need to uh, return back to Allah Ta'ala, we need to make Toba. If we treat every day like that, then when Ramadan come around, we're prepared for it. However, we don't take advantage of all of the all of the sacred months, because mind you, we already passed one sacred month, which is Rajab. In the sacred months, killing is forbidden. In the sacred months, the sins are double. In the sacred months, the good deeds are like triple. Right, the good deeds are like multiply in the sacred months, and the sins, they multiply in the sacred months. I mean, they're double. So instead of committing one sin, you commit one sin is like committing two. You commit one good deed is like committing 10, doing 10 good deeds, right? To whatever number that, said, that amount that Allah Ta'ala gives the reward for doing good deeds in. It's like, always hear people that they want to get married in Ramadan, right? And getting married at any time is still virtuous because it's a good deed. But what is so special about getting married in Ramadan? Is it because the gates of Jannah is open and the gates of the hellfire is closed? Is it because Shaitan, Udhu Minhu, is locked up and the big shayateen are locked up, what is it? Is there a hadith that specifies that the best time to get married is in the month of Ramadan, right? Because what do we do in Ramadan? We're fasting all day, and then some of us were praying all night, right? Some of us are praying all night. So at what time? At what time during each day do you get an opportunity to enjoy your spouse after you done got married in Ramadan, right?
There you go. There you go. That's the purpose of marrying. See, I'm trying to keep the kufi on instead of putting Mr. Petty hat on, right? In reality, okay, in reality. And I'm not saying this to judge, but I'm saying this because we hear this, we see it. We're normally, and when I say we, I'm not saying me myself of committing this act, but we as in the ummah. We're trying to rectify our affairs during this month of Ramadan, and that's what it has come to. And I could say the area where I'm at. I only can speak on the tri-state area, right? We're normally trying to marry the person because this is a poison. Listen here, y'all. I'm saying this because these are issues in our communities. We're trying to marry the person that we was committing sin with before this month came.
That's not always the case, neither.
I'm not saying it's always the case. But again, you said, right? Let's point out what you said, right? I'm only piggybacking off of you. Right? I'm only piggybacking off of Abu Muhammad. Is it something in the Quran? Is it a hadith that says what is this about marrying in the month of Ramadan? What did I say? Let's go back to Qala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is it anything that's saying, oh, it's the beauty of marriage? Why? Right? With every action comes a reaction. And every action that has a purpose behind it. Why? Right?
If it's about committing, if it's about,
and I said rectifying their affairs. I said rectifying. It could be a good thing.
If marrying in Ramadan is about ibadah, because being married is having a relation with your spouse is an act of ibadah, then wouldn't it be better and more virtuous that you get married in the sacred months where your good deeds are multiplied?
That's what I'm saying.
If that's not the case, then if it's more virtuous or blessed to get married in Ramadan, what about those who divorce or get granted a khula in Ramadan?
Ooh, that's heavy. Repeat that one more time. So let it sink in. Let it sink into the people listening.
I'm gonna do my if Tunde Umar Johnson joint. If it's such a blessed time, a blessing to get married in Ramadan, right? Or virtuous and blessed to get married in Ramadan. What about those who get divorced in Ramadan or granted a khula in Ramadan? Right? Is it virtuous and blessed then? No, because it's never virtuous and blessed when you have to end a marriage, you have to divorce. What's the purpose of you divorcing in Ramadan other than your nafs has not been checked? Because you can't blame it on
Let's play another devil's advocate. Let's play devil's advocate too, right? So I'm gonna piggyback off you too, right? Since we're doing the Dr. Umar Johnson thing, right? Now, what if this person is divorcing because they tolerated something beforehand and they don't want them to be able to mess up their ibadah? What if they tolerated the fitna and now they're like this coming into Ramadan can affect my ibadah, so I divorced because I don't want anything to affect my ibadah.
That means the test of restraint has been failed. You look at people who practice restraint all year round, right? They practice restraint all year round. They put up with so much all year round, but in Ramadan, they blow their top. They blow their top. And it's all them. It's anonymous that it's them. It's not shaitan. It's not their, you know what I'm saying? It's not it's them, it's their nefs. They blow up in Ramadan. I mean they lose their cool. They lose their cool. And I'm only speaking on that because I'm guilty of it on a couple of occasions that I'm aware of, right? A couple of occasions. However, I'm not by myself in them occasions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not by myself in them occasions, but you know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of that. What happens, right? I'm also guilty of granting a kula and divorcing in Ramadan too, right? So it's like what's so special? It's not no ayat of Quran that says it's virtuous to get married in Ramadan. It's not a hadith that says it's virtuous to get married in Ramadan, right? So how can anyone uh substantiate the claim back with the book and the Sunnah? Right? It was a hadith. Someone had heard seen someone relate that what they was told or what they learned was that the most blessed day to get married is on Jum'ah, and the best month to get married in is Shawwal. The month of Shawwal is after Ramadan. The added 6 days of fasting, that if you fast 6 days after Ramadan, that you'll get the reward of fasting the whole year, begins with the month of Shawwal, right? Begins with the month of Shawwal, and the individual that practiced the 6 days of fasting, that so if you're in the Maliki school, that it begins from Shawwal. It's not the beginning of Shawwal, but you start your first day in Shawwal all the way to the next year, to the next Ramadan, right? So you'll get the reward of fasting that whole year. I mean, so what is it? On top of that, we have uh the continued practice that we supposed to so when we fast in 30 days or 29 days, that spiritual high it will normally continue in individuals who are continuously engaged in their spiritual development. I mean, in their character transformation, right? We read the Quran. We're supposed to read the Quran every day, not just read it in Ramadan, right? One of the rights that the Quran have on us, at minimum, is to read it every day. At maximum is to complete it once a month. So if an individual they doing a juz a day and they complete the reading of the Quran every month, many of the spiritual illnesses we wouldn't be affected with. We won't be affected by anxiety. Won't be affected by depression. Won't be affected by chronic waswas. We won't be affected by anything that's related to our spiritual health, because the Quran is the shifa. It's a healing. It's a healing, and it's not just a healing for spiritual illnesses. Also, you have ruqya for healing in different ayats of the Quran. Surah Al-Fatiha is a healing, right? You have you have salah a particular salah ala nabi that is from the Quran, which is Salatul Fatihi. Salatul Fatihi is from the Quran. I gave a khutbah a few years ago about, you know, saying the ayats of the Quran that the Salatul Fatihi comes from in the Quran. It's like 7 ayats because it's seven ayats of Salatul Fatihi, right? So it comes from the Quran. So it's other shit. So it's other siru that is in the Quran, like Ayatul Kursi. There's a siru with Ayatul Kursi. You mean the ayat that has the dua of Musa is a siru related to that ayat, right? You know, so if an individual come into the month and before the month of Ramadan they didn't have no type of connection or a relationship with the Quran, this is a time to build a relationship with the Quran. If they didn't have a relationship in relation to their practice of Qiyamul Layl or Tahajjud, then this is the time. This is the time to do it, right? When we approach Allah Subhanahu wa Taala in the last third of the night, we're supposed to approach Allah Taala in the best of states, good smelling perfumes, good, you know what I'm saying, real nice malabis, real nice garments, clothes, and we stand before Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and we make them rakats, whether it's 8, 12, 13, 20, 36, whatever, right? Along with uh Taraweeh. The other quote unquote discussions we be having is about Salatul Taraweeh, whether we pray 8 or whether we pray 20, right? That's
I was
another
just about to bring that up. I was just about to
that's
bring that up.
that's
I
another
forgot
that's
about that.
another
Yeah, it's
discussion.
5. I forgot about the argument. That's
Yeah,
5.
that's another discussion. Now, the praying of eight rakats with the two shafi and with it, which is 11, is related from the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, and how when she said that she never observed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying more than 11 rakats inside Ramadan or outside Ramadan. That's understood from the ulama that she is talking about Salatul Tahajjud or Salatul Tahajjud, that she's talking about that because you don't pray Taraweeh outside of Ramadan. Taraweeh is only for Ramadan, and it is unanimous. It is unanimous by consensus, by ijma, that Salatul Taraweeh is 20 rakats. All four schools is 20 rakats. The Hanafi school, the Maliki school, the Shafi school, and the Hanbali school. And during the time of the Khilafat of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, rahmatullah alayhi, the one who was labeled as possibly the fifth righteous Khulafa. The fifth righteous one is Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who is the grandson of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu from his son Asim, and the door and the daughter of the daughter of the woman who Umar radiallahu anhu who brought all three of his sons to marry because of something she had said to her mother about mixing the water and the milk, and she said that Umar radiallahu anhu said that we not supposed to mix the water and the milk, and she said Umar is not here, and the daughter said no, Allah Ta'ala, no, Umar does not see us, and she said Allah Ta'ala sees us, right? And Umar radiallahu anhu and one of his companions that was doing patrol around Medina, he overheard this conversation, and he told his companion, remember this house. And he came back with his three sons to marry one of them to the daughter, right? So they prayed during his time 36 rakats, including the Shafi and with him, right? Along with the Shafi and with it. Why? So that the rest, because during that time the recitation of the Taraweeh was so long, right? 36 rakats, you can recite a juz, a Quran, in short recitations. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I remember this was when I was living in Chicago. I had heard that in Philadelphia there was some masjids that you go to in the parking lot. They have the parking for those who praying 8 rakats park over here. Those who praying 20 rakats park over here. I don't know. I never tried to figure out if that was true or not, because since I've been living in Philadelphia, I never heard anything like that, and I've been here 8 years. Only thing I know is that other masjids that I've been to in the month of Ramadan, the first 3-4 days is packed for Taraweeh. As the month proceeds, the crowd dwindles. The crowd dwindles. At Masjid Uthman, it'd be a nice Jamaat the first couple of nights. Then the crowd dwindles. You mean so? Taraweeh is more virtuous if you can pray it at home. If you have the idhin, the zeal to pray it at home. I mean, it's more virtuous at home. The Prophet ﷺ, he prayed in the Jamaat only 3 nights. The rest of the month he prayed at home. Salatul Taraweeh. The same thing happened with Salatul Tahajjud. He prayed Salatul Tahajjud in the masjid 3 nights. After that, he prayed at home.
Yeah, Imam Haddad, he speaks about that as well. About Taraweeh. And he speaks about it, and this is in the book of assistance. He speaks about Taraweeh, that is not a thing you should observe every night as well. Right? And we see people there every night. He said, and to be because I was just happening, you brought my brain, what you call it, started moving. He said, he said, be careful to perform the Taraweeh prayer during every Ramadan night. Right? Clear as day. He says it there. So this is something we should try to do to the best of our ability. Because the thing is reaping the benefits of this month of Ramadan, right? And the main thing is being consistent. The Prophet ﷺ spoke about consistency, right? And doing a good deed in consistency. Some of us, as and this is the problem that we have, while you see, that the first couple of nights of Ramadan is packed, and then it goes down because we wasn't consistently over this time spending our nights doing night prayer all night, right? So try to reap the benefits of where you can, okay, I'm gonna go this night, give yourself a break. Go another night, give yourself a break. And then when over time, this is probably something you can build. You can build instead of jumping out the window and say, I'm gonna pray 20 raka'at every single night. This is something you can build. Then you'll be able to wake yourself up and do tahajjud. You get what I'm saying? So we got to build ourselves, right? And like I said, this month is something we should do to build ourselves, to bring great character into the next following month. I mean, when we say, as Imam Abu Muhammad, he spoke of, is that people saying that I need a Ramadan, we got to stop treating the Ramadan like a relationship. That we want it while it's here, and when it's gone, it's like, okay, it's gone, okay, I get to do what I do. You know what I mean? We have to treat it like a, like a necessity, like it's water. Something we need on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis. Not treat it like some sort of basic relationship that we can throw it out the window once it's gone. We got to take advantage of it, right? Because it gains, when we implement this fast, it allows us to gain taqwa. And we all need to gain taqwa. And what is the thing that it does, right? One of the beauty of the hikmah behind Ramadan too is that, think about it, right? One of the major things we acquire in Ramadan is suhbah. Am I wrong? You're in the masjid for for the iftar, right? Or you go to people's house for iftars. You're in the masjid praying tarawih. You're amongst people doing tarawih. You acquire these certain things, these certain behaviors. And this is what allows us to be better Muslims because we acquire suhbah. So imagine how when we leave Ramadan, are we doing these things on a day-to-day basis? Are you going to visit someone and eat? Right? Are you doing these things? Are you at the masjid all the time now? Right? These are some of the things we acquired during this month. So we have to take advantage of that. Right. And this is the thing I say, what I try to say to me, my fellow partners in crime, right? Such as Abu Muhammad, Imam Khalil, Ahmed, and all of us, that one thing that a lot of people do, they stop teaching on the month of Ramadan, which I think is the worst thing you can do. And why I say that is because this is when people are in the spirit of learning. You have to feed that desire. When you were ex-drug dealer, right? A'udhu billah of this comparison, but I'm using this comparison because it is logical sense. If the block is booming, do you leave the block? Huh, Abu Muhammad?
Hey, where I come from is the block. If the block is booming, the block is hot. So you get in where you fit in, and you get out.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, if you're making money, if they there, the smokers is coming, you say, "Oh, I'm not gonna worry about it today," or you're gonna make your money. You're gonna get that money. You don't leave. Oh, well, it's tomorrow will probably be like that, right? No, you get it's coming. So we got to start treating, we got to feed that to the people. This is what they want. You give the people what they want. And we got to start feeding the people with that because they're in that spirit of acquiring knowledge. And now it's about the knowledge, what we have to give the people, right? What do we have to give the people? The people need to learn the basic necessities, what they need to take over into the next following months. So I think we need to, these are the things what we have to do during this month. Like I said, and people don't have to agree, but I feel as though that you should never stop teaching during the month of Ramadan. That's where you should go a little bit harder and have many activities for the people to do in the masjid, people to do outside of the masjid because they're in that spirit. And take advantage of that because we don't get it. We don't get it all year round from a lot of people. And if it's just what we want, we got to give it to the people. Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Where the OG at? Where Imam Khalil at, man? I guess he hit us with the rinky dink.
He's asleep.
Knocked out.
He probably chilling. He probably chilling because he was he wasn't, he was gonna come on late. I mean, he probably still in class or whatever. I mean, so he's gonna come on. I mean, inshallah. But you know what I'm saying. So far, we're having a good discussion. I mean, and I can't tell how many people are watching with this with this app. You know what I'm saying?
What you got the StreamYard app? You're not using the basic StreamYard?
I'm using the StreamYard app. I'm not using I didn't log it into the search engine online. I mean, I went to the logged in into the app.
Oh, okay.
So on here, you're not able to see who's liking it and all of that. You're only able to see how much time we've been live and the people who comment. Like on the app, you can't click on a comment and put it on the screen. But when you log in from the web, from the Safari or Google or whatever, you can click on the comment. You can click on the comment and it'll come across the screen.
Okay.
I had peeped that Thursday, Charlotte, when I was streaming. So so it's a real good discussion. I mean, I pray we have some, anyone give some feedback or have some comments or some questions or whatever, and that we're just not having a discussion to ourselves, but we're having a discussion and other people's engagement. So far, it's only one person that is watching on YouTube, and one person is watching on Facebook. Well, let me see. Let me see something. Let me see something.
What you looking at, Abu Muhammad? Yeah, but for everyone, let's just try to take advantage of this month. Try to take advantage of it. I know there's probably a lot of people isn't watching. Because Ramadan is in a few days, so people probably getting their orders ready, trying to go food shopping and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So
But you want to end it now? We've been off almost an hour. You want to end it now, or how you feel, Abu Muhammad?
I'm just saying. I was trying to get a miss of time to get on to get a miss of time to come on so that he have a few things to say. Um, but I don't know if you want to take us out, you could take us out, inshallah.
Let me see. I'm gonna hit him up. See what he want to do. Or you want to give him a few more minutes? How you feel?
I'm just saying if he ain't came on by now, he probably on his way to the crib. I mean, to try to get situated. Yeah, but inshallah, man, let's go ahead and end it, man, because it's nothing but a discussion. I mean that some of the things we touched on, it really needed to be touched on. And
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but before we end, um, I think we're coming up with days on going back to what we was teaching. We was picking out days on what we were going to do. So again, we're going to be teaching during this month of Ramadan as we did last year, which is very beneficial. Inshallah ta'ala, I will be starting the fit class back up next week. So prepare for that. Inshallah ta'ala. Abu Muhammad, he has his class, what, Thursdays?
yeah, on Thursday, so I'm continuing that,
Yeah, so
inshallah.
yeah, so I will be starting back up. I was just getting everything situated here at the house. So that's why I kind of slowed up. But it wasn't intention of stopping. So I just had to get things in order. I was coming home late, so it was, I was coming home for the past few weeks at 8 o'clock at night. So it was kind of strenuous of doing it. Um, so I will be starting that class back up, starting the fifth class back up. Abu Muhammad has his class Thursday. Imam Khalil will be having his class. We're trying to see Imam Malik will be having his class as well. So we're going to be shaking and baking a lot during this month, inshallah ta'ala. Uh, um, what else? I'm guessing we will be slowing down on the podcast this month, and we'll be just basing everything around Islamic learning. Uh, anything you want to add in, Abu Muhammad? That I maybe forget.
I don't know if we're gonna slow up the podcast. We probably like we did last year. Say every podcast we had some type of learning engagement. You
Because
know what
Imam Khalil, from my understanding, he just felt, he wanted to, just stick to learning this year with it. But I always thought that we should have the podcast still too. You know what I mean? I think we should change the time because people will be doing Tarawih. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's gonna work.
probably be earlier. Probably be earlier, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Allah knows best. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that amongst ourselves in the group about when we're gonna start, inshallah. Because in Ramadan, 9 o'clock, people will still be praying Taraweeh. I mean, some people. Um, Maghrib is coming in at like 6 something, 6:03, 6 something like that. So Isha come in like the hour later. I mean, or 40 minutes later. You know what I mean? So, Taraweeh is normally right after Isha. And if you're praying 20 rakats or 8, you reciting the Juz or Quran, or you reciting short surahs, it's still Taraweeh is still like 30 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes to an hour. So to actually start do the podcast or do something, learn it a little bit earlier, be more it'll be better. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Depending on, because this month starting in March, it's like really the time is like really still bunched together. It's still,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, it's still the fall time. I mean, because the time is gonna go up an hour.
Right.
It's gonna go up an hour. So, and it's not that time. Normally, it go up an hour at the end of March or the beginning of April. So we'll see. Inshallah, we'll try to work it out. We try to work it out, inshallah.
Inshallah. So anybody have any question, comments, anything of that nature? I guess that's all. I just ended shortly. You know what I mean? Because it was just a basic conversation. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Again, everyone, please like, share, subscribe, follow as much as you can, because we have to start getting ourselves in the algorithm. So inshallah ta'ala, please follow us as much as you can, like, subscribe, and just constantly share everything we do. Share everything we do, inshallah ta'ala. It would be a pleasure and it would be a great service. Anything you'd like to say, Abu Muhammad?
No, just take us out.
Do you want to go ahead? No, go ahead. You do a small dua, Abu Muhammad.
You make the dua. Make the dua.
All right. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. وصلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All right, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.